my mother broke into tears. Like full Hindi movie drama.
Like doctor to designer?
Oh my
What does that
God.
mean?
Are you going to leave your MBBS? Are you not going to become a doctor?
How can we send a boy for Kathak? This just sounds
They
like...
were like in
you
a
know-
shock.
Welcome to Rule Breaker. Well, we're breaking rules. But what rules are we breaking? Today, meet a very interesting couple. A doctor who is a man, an orthopedic, who also does Kathak. I ask him if those two are related. But I also speak to his other half, Vibhuti, who talks about her journey as a doc turned designer, and then how the two are doing several things together, including being a very cute couple on Instagram. Welcome, Vibhuti. Thanks very much.
Thank you so much for having us.
And so you went from being partners to business partners, and how early did that happen?
So we started dating first. 2 months into the college, we started dating. And what I tell you about MBBS or like in general the doctor community, when you enter the college, it's very intimidating, right? The pressure, the crowd, and
The goals.
The goals. Also, it's very interesting. Like somehow that was a thing that everyone. I mean, I was not someone who's like very into love or relationships. Rishi was my first ever relationship, and I'm like glad and blessed that I ended up marrying him. But I was not someone who was planning on getting into a relationship. But the crowd and the pressure was such that everyone had someone. I think that was because we were so far off from our families, and you need someone to kind of share that pressure and that feeling with. So that is how we ended up being together. So first year of college, I don't think we started off with anything related to designing or anything as such. But a second year for the annual function, he was like, Vibhuti, we cannot do this. This cannot happen again. So I was like, I'm not going to wear those anarkalis. At that point of time, there were a specific anarkalis which were very in trend. There was net ka anarkali with a lot of embroidery. It was like, I cannot wear this. This is not me at all. So after browsing a little, we ended up designing something for me. It was like, let's chuck this. We'll make it ourselves. And we kind of designed, sewed fabrics, and found a tailor and got a custom outfit made. So that was first custom Rishi and Vibhuti outfit.
Nice.
But we did not know that we'll end up doing this like full time. But after that, a lot of people started coming to us and asking like, where did you get this outfit from? And we were like, 19-year-olds, we're like, we designed it. Very happy about it. But what happened is gradually people started coming to us with orders. And we were just two medical college kids. We were like, oh, extra money, wow, loving it. So we started making things for other people. And by, I think so, third year of medical college, we started
This was serious
making
pocket money.
Yeah, we started making like good amount of money that we combined, bought a second-hand car in college.
Wow.
With that money. So that is when we thought, okay, I think this is getting somewhere. And then we practically had a good conversation that, do you think that we should do this and XYZ? And then we went to our parents and we said that we think we have a future here and we really want to do this. And I remember my mother broke into tears, like full Hindi movie drama.
Like doctor to designer?
Oh my
What does that
God.
mean?
Are you going to leave your MBBS? Are you not going to become a doctor? Because I was becoming a doctor because it was my mother's dream, like most of us do, right? So I was not very sure of what I want to do. So she wanted me to do this. I was like, okay, cool. I anyways don't know what to do, right?
Yeah.
So she was like very heartbroken, I would say, that, oh my God, what is happening? So my mother started crying, that are you going to leave your profession? Are you not going to be a doctor? So I was like, no, I'm not saying that. What I'm saying is, I also want to do this. So similarly, at Rishi's place, everyone is doctor. Rishi's father is doctor, his brother, his bhabhi, everyone is doctor. Now Rishi and me are also doctors. So like doctor family, right? So his father too was like, you have to be a doctor. Rest, everything you figure out afterwards, but this is something which is a priority for me. So that day, me and Rishi promised that whatever happens, we're not going to leave our profession. So that is why we use a hashtag called Doctor Designers, because we're never doctor turned designers,
Yeah.
but always doctors and
And designers.
designers.
Got it.
Right. By the end of our final year in college, we registered our company, and we did our first pop-up in DLF Promenade, Delhi. So it was really nice, and we made like good money also, and we got good exposure also, and we kind of understood how the market works. And because earlier we were just taking custom orders, right?
Yeah.
So it was comparatively easier. We were not doing any sort of marketing, etc. Then we started doing multiple pop-ups slowly. So at that point of time, we were done with our education, and we were in internship. So me and Rishi did our internship in Delhi deliberately, because we knew that we will be able to work
On the
for
design
the
side.
design side also. So we did our internship in Hindu Rao Hospital in
Yeah,
Delhi,
yeah.
right? So internship time, we have like multiple shifts, right? So you get night shifts, you get day duties, you get 24 hours duties also. So we would plan our duties in a way, we would go to our seniors and request them to plan our duties in a way so that we do not get duties like same time. So Rishi would do day, so I would do night, or
Acha.
I would do day, so Rishi would do night, so that one of us is available for the other thing, right?
Nice.
And we wanted more days in the office and more nights in the hospital. So I mean, that was the real time when we had to.
It all sounds very interesting, but it must have been a lot of hard work.
Yeah, a lot actually. That was the time actually where I would say we hustled, right? The hustle culture that we talk about. Now people ask us, how do we manage? I mean, now it's very easy for us, but at that
You built
time,
the system.
yeah, at that point of time, it wasn't. So we were just, I think we had one Master Ji, one tailor, and a girl who used to do turpai, and my mom used to help us a little, and other than that, it was just me and Rishi, and it was like such a small.
What do you now
production.
have?
So now, now I think we have a team of 60-70 people approximately, and that is why while I talk about this thing, I really have that chills and those goosebumps, because that is where we started from, right?
Yeah, yeah.
And we used to do multiple night shifts. I used to take 24-hour shifts so that I could get 2 days off. So there was a system. So if you do a night shift,
Yeah.
next day is off. So we would do night shift, next day we get off. So we would go to a pop-up show like in Ahmedabad.
How was the transition from being a doctor to a designer, or vice versa?
transition
I
never
don't know which started first.
So transition never, we don't get a time for transition only. So I start my day very early in the morning. So I start my day at 5:30. So then I am that from 5:30 till 12:30 or 1:30, I am into the hospital practicing. And then 2:30 onwards, I give my few hours to the office to see how the entire things are working around. And from after that, I am again in the clinic, then seeing OPD patients. So that's the circle that keeps rolling. So we don't get time for transition only. Yeah, you can say that the travel time is the transition time from hospital to the production office and then to the clinic. So that's the.
But you always wanted to do both.
So from very deep from my heart, I want to do something very creative in the department. But from being a doctor background family and being the nepo kid of the doctors, my father was very stern that you have to be a doctor. Okay, so my childhood was like I wanted to do something in dance for sure, like choreography or creative field or even do event management. But my dad was like, no, you can't do this. You have to be a doctor, and then you do whatever you want to do. Like, okay. So we wanted to do both. Wanted to do one, but now ended up doing both.
So you guys dated for a long time.
Very long.
But what was still around was the fact that your husband, Aka Dr. Rishi, was still a Kathak dancer.
Yeah.
And that at some point or the other must have broken as news to you that, oh, this guy does Kathak. So now, did you call him her double weirdo? Because that's what society
No, not
what,
at
what,
all.
what exactly happened at the moment you got to know?
So very honestly, I think I got more attracted to Rishi because of the Kathak thing. I mean, I get fascinated, I get very attracted to talented people, right? So I think attraction for everyone is different. Some people get attracted to looks, I get attracted to talent in general. So I think when I say that I was looking at this guy who's such a weirdo, that weirdo thing started changing, and why we started having conversations and why we started getting connected was because for our freshers, Rishi was doing a Kathak performance and I was doing a singing performance. So I used to sing, he used to dance,
Nice.
right? And we were like very into the cultural activity scenes, and because of that we used to spend a lot of time after the class together because we were in the cultural society of the college,
Yeah.
right? So that is when I got to know that he does such a fabulous Kathak, and then I got to know that he's been trained for 9 years,
That's
which
amazing.
which kind of I think my respect for him started developing. From that weird guy, he started becoming someone that I started admiring, and I mean, Kathak has been part of our. I mean, I also asked him if he could teach me, but but that never ended up happening. Now
Yeah.
I think he can, but we have more time now.
True. I can't think of so many rules that you have not broken. But I'll go straight to the rule that I am most impressed with. You're a person who's an osteoporosis expert,
Yes.
an orthopedic person, and you do Kathak.
Yes.
Were the two linked? Are you doing Kathak so you don't get osteoporosis?
Okay, so eventually when I was very young, I really liked dance very much, and at that age of I think about 6 or 7 years, my brother wanted that no, if you want to do dance, do something Indian traditional classical Kathak, anything classical, not regular Bollywood. He used to hate that genre, so he forced me to put into like a classical Kathak dance, and eventually I grew up learning it. I learned it for 8-9 years. I was a trained Kathak dancer. I performed amongst all the occasions available in Bombay, Delhi, Punjab, and then I went
So
to
you
my.
were professionally trained in Kathak.
Yes, absolutely.
Where did you train? Tell us this thing.
I trained from Purva Kusarpuri ma'am, who is the head of Prachin Kala Kendra, which we have a center in Chandigarh and Ludhiana. So that's how my journey started in dance. I was doing it for a very, very longer time, and then eventually took a shift turn, and I went to medical college. There I also started practicing my Kathak. It was just 2 months 1 month in the college. There was a competition, like a Delhi inter medical college competition all over
For dance.
For like a cultural activity was there.
Yeah.
So
College has got talent.
College, yeah. So my college said, who will go? I said, listen, I will go. So, how can you first student go for a dance competition? I said, sir, aap mujhe bhejo, I'll get the prize for you. So I was the first one. The college got the first prize from a first year college student. So we're very excited about it.
And no one said that, oh, how can we send a boy for Kathak? This just sounds
They were like in a
you know,
shock.
I would love to believe there are countries so progressive where these conversations haven't happened, but you're from a regular Punjabi household in Ludhiana,
Yes.
where a boy doing Kathak positively wouldn't have been like, oh, he's the apple of the eye, you know, but bache aao dance karo, you know.
My family was a little different. My mom and my brother and my dad were very acceptable about it, and they really pushed me out, you know. So my mom used to go with me all the competitions and all the performances, getting me dressed up, putting all the makeup and getting my all dresses done, arranged also. And my father used to go for selective events because he was a doctor, very hard practicing doctor. He never takes off, so he only used to come to my major big events. But yeah, it was not acceptable as it is now. That time in 2006 or 7 was very discreet or discomfortable. It was that time.
But tell me something, what we call trolling today. You know, there was trolling on the face back then. There was no concept of being
Yeah,
trolled
but
in a
honestly,
DM.
I got trolling, but it was from a very far away aspects, which when people were close to me were not trolling. They were very happy about it.
Nice. And you, did you ever self-reject yourself? Because see, again, when you hear peers
Yeah.
and friends and they say, oh, listen, you boy carrying pink tiffin, acha, you learning Kathak. What was that like? And you know, I'm very, very curious to know, did you question yourself?
So when I started doing Kathak in my school, so eventually after that there were many boys who wanted to do it.
Wow.
So when I started in 2006 in the school doing Kathak, and when I was doing my 12th, I already had 5 boys in the same batch of mine, and in the younger batch there were many more.
I want to ask you about your own profession. You're a cosmetologist.
Yes.
This is a very in thing these days.
Yeah.
Every woman wants sculpting of some form
Yeah.
or the other. What exactly does a cosmetologist suggest to people today, and how much is enough?
So, very honestly, my approach to cosmetology is very different than I would say a lot of other people. Why? Because I mean, I have people coming to me directly and asking that I think I need Botox here, I need fillers here, and this and that. And I personally believe in balancing, right? So I would always tell them that you know what, you do not need this much. You would need a little here, a little there, but not that much, right? Because I feel that cosmetology also is about balancing the face right? We see a lot of celebrities doing fillers, Botox, and they went wrong, right? And the face, instead of getting balanced, gets a little heavier, and it doesn't turn out as natural and as beautiful that I think when they started doing it they were supposed to get, right? So my approach is less is more, and my approach is always prevention better than cure, right? So I always start telling my patients that it's very important to start incorporating few things in your lifestyle to prevent those anti-aging things that we're talking about, right? Like fine lines, wrinkles that we talk about. So,
Like what? Talk about that.
so yeah, so there are few things that I'm like very particular about. One thing is a good skincare routine, right? So we as a community are not very into skincare, right? We've never been. I mean, me myself, I think before getting into cosmetology, before getting inclined towards this direction, I was not very regular on sunscreen. I thought that sunscreen is supposed to be applied when you're on beach, and that is still the thought of most of the people that I know. I mean, it's definitely changed, but again, that is what we've been taught, that you apply sunscreen when you're on beach, right? So when I started getting into this field, then I started reading more, and then I realized that okay, fine, I'm learning how to do Botox, I'm learning how to do fillers, I'm learning all these anti-aging procedures, but what if we don't get to a stage where I need it like immediately? Nowadays, I mean, 25-year-old would come and say, I want to get Botox done because I want to get rid of these fine lines. I mean, 25 years of age, you could have been like more wise about your eating habits, you could have been more wise about your sugar consumption, you could have been more wise about your workouts, right? So now I tell my patients to start lifting weight like early, because lifting weight kind of helps with anti-aging. I tell my patients to have a balanced diet, right? I'm not saying just go crazy on your proteins or just go to a like intermittent fasting too much,
Yeah.
or
But include decent amount of protein, which is adequate.
yes, definitely add
Because
more
everyone's so
protein.
deficient on protein.
Yeah, add more protein in your diet, but don't go like zero on carbs.
Yeah.
Because you need that for energy,
Yeah.
right? So I would always suggest them to go for a balanced diet, right? Do some lifestyle changes, and I mean, a lot of people nowadays develop these issues because of stress. So then I tell them to kind of meditate a little, because I think the solution is not just doing a specific treatment, but a overall lifestyle change is what a person needs.
Did you get Botox done?
Very honestly, I haven't done anything yet because again, I did not need, I mean, I don't think that I need it now. I will get it done like in future because I think Botox is amazing.
And you basically make sure that people keep their bones and joints in place.
Yes, I am a very, I am a doctor who always say, please prefer doing exercises, being an orthopedic surgeon. I avoid them to doing, going for multiple things which you can do it at yourself. That makes your bones healthier and literally more working.
So what problems are women coming with? And what is your advice to women who have just crossed 35 when it comes to overall well-being?
So the biggest problem that women comes to us is after their 35 or 40 when they have cold shoulder. Major women who are generally housewives are not working or either working on their laptops or desks, they have a tendency to develop like a stiffness in the shoulders because they're either working in a station manner and they're not exercising their shoulders mobilely. They might be doing a walk or they might be going for a jog, but the shoulders are stagnant. So the same position, the shoulder gets freeze and the frozen shoulder acts. So they are not able to lift their full arms up like a full flexible. They cannot do that. So that is a major thing that we are seeing now from 2022 or 2021. There's a high increase in that and the lesser increase in the shoulder and the knees as compared to that. And a lot of calcaneum spur also in which girls are wearing heels and they tend to have their bone getting increased and they have knocking knees also because of long standing hours. So these are the multiple things that we keep seeing in the women, and I would suggest them to please feel their body requires some sort of how we get a car service repair. The body also needs a service station. So they need to keep practicing and exercising what max they can do, something to have their body moving in all the joints because they are all the joints in the body part. They have to keep moving.
Yeah. So as a doctor, what are the issues that women tend to develop as they approach perimenopause? And particularly because orthopedic behavior just appears that buddhe ho jaoge to tab jana. There is that mentality that you're literally, when your bones just can't hold you, then you go to the orthopedic.
No. So now we have a lot of boys and girls, women and men coming from straight away up from gym to us. Sir, ab ye ho gaya, ab kya karna hai? Exercise hi karni hai, but in a certain manner you have to do it. But again, if you come to when the women are close to menopausal situation and post their 45 or 50, they tend to develop a lot of osteoarthritis nowadays, because in which they tend to develop a lot of bone pains, joint pains and difficulty in squatting in a stagnant manner. They can't cross down their legs because either they are tending to gain weight at that point of time, either the bones density has gone low. So both ways, this is the problem that they face through that time.
Yeah. What is it that they need to fix about their nutrition? We are a very carb heavy country and protein poor country. What's your understanding of how the nutrition piece needs to be fixed here?
Nutrition in my concept comes from a perfect balanced diet. Either they have a good amount of salad or they have a good amount of protein by kind of vegetarian source or like a non-vegetarian source. Both are equally good, but which is very important is to have a perfect balance of nutrient portion to their diet.
But you've got great skin. I mean, maybe it's your energy, but it's like every time you're talking, you're glowing. And so what's the, I don't know, I don't like using the cliched question, what's the secret sauce?
So
but
there's no secret actually.
What do you get right?
So I think, very honestly, if you meet anyone who knew me in my college days, I had like absolutely really bad skin, and I'm not talking about acne. I mean, a lot of people have acne, and that is kind of termed as the main condition that everyone talks about, but I had dry skin. And when we talk about dry skin, it was so dry that you would see flakes around my eyes and around the area between my nose and lips, and it was very bad, very, very bad. So post my MBBS, when I started my internship and I started reading about the aesthetic medicine, and when I started getting inclined towards it, that is when I started doing a good skincare. And I think that is something that has helped me. It's not an overnight thing. It will not, I mean, if you start today, it will not happen like in a week's time a span. I've been doing it for years now.
Quick aspect when it comes to women is that they tend to put preventative health behind and they look for cure, right? Until that they've reached a point where they'll have to pop a medicine,
Yeah.
and it's third stage or whatever that problem is, right? How would you advise them to fix that?
They should look into the mirror and see where the problems is arising, and they should know what best is for themselves. They cannot just put on a specific filter on and say this is not a problem, this is just a situation, but which is actually a problem, which is arising after 2 or 3 months. So that's better to have like a prevention is better than cure. They should look out for a preventive measure that time only, so they don't have to go for the cure at that after significant months or days.
Tell me something, and this is my final question. What is the one thing about your on Instagram relationship that is not real?
That is not real. Very honestly, me and Rishi are like very real people only. So there's nothing which is not real as of now, honestly. Yeah, but there's a lot of things which are not on the gram, right? Like me and him have been together for 13 years, 14 years now. So of course we fight. That is not on the gram, right? I won't shoot that, guys, wait. I'm going to put a camera on and we're going to start fighting. So of course those things are not there. A lot of business part is not there because again, when I'm working, I am not a full-time content creator that I would have that thing in my mind that I have to put my camera everywhere. Right?
When the two of you fight, who apologizes first?
Of course, Rishi. I'm a very stubborn person.
Okay.
Yeah.
Awesome. Is there anything I should have asked you but I haven't?
I don't know. I mean, I'm an open book. I mean, if you ask me a few days back, someone asked me on Instagram, like on a Q&A, that, Doc, which business of yours, the clothing brand or the clinic, is doing better revenue-wise? So, first I read the question, I was like, should I answer? And I was like, chuck it, how does it matter? I was like, yes, the clothing brand is doing better because it's older, the clinic is also doing well, but again, if you compare revenue-wise, the clothing brand is doing better. So I'm like an open book, so if I don't think there's any specific thing that I would say that you should have asked me, but yeah, if you would have asked me anything, I would have answered.
Lovely. Super chatting with you. Thanks so much.
Thank you.